Okay, everybody. This is going to be a pretty detailed work in progress. I really wanted to show the creation and evolution of the rescue blade that I'm going to be making. Um, what you see here is a rough drawing of what I have in mind, and I just wanted to go over a couple features on this before I uh, basically put it on steel and start profiling. Um, this is a rescue blade with the firefighter in mind. Myself being a firefighter, I find myself needing a tool quite often, not just for, say, vehicle extrication, but also in structural fires. And I've seen several rescue knives in the past that kind of come close to having the features that I would look for, but I'm really hoping that this is something that other folks will find valuable as well. A couple things I wanted to show you here is the handle is going to be out of a black micarta. I like that because you can rough grind it and it's very tacky, especially when it gets wet. Biggest issue that I see with rescue knives is when you're on a fire, especially a structural fire, you've got these big, heavy structural fire gloves on. Okay, they're big, they're bulky, and then of course they get soaking wet. So grip is a major, major issue. I made the handle a little bit bigger than most as far as length that I've seen because obviously your hands are a lot wider when you have these gloves on. The other thing I put in here is a big finger choil. When you are going to pry something, your first motion is to wedge the tip of the blade in. So that's a pushing action. I don't want my fingers slipping past this point towards the blade. Another part you see here, and it's going to have jimping on it as well, is something that you can put your thumb on during that process as well, to really, really lock your hand in. And you see down here in the back I have it coming down so that it really locks your hand in. Also, I want to go ahead and mention on the back side I have a tip for breaking glass. I see a lot of people that have the carbide tips and all that on there, but in my opinion, if you can break a windshield with a antenna, if you hit it in the right spot, I don't think there's a need for going and putting carbide on and all that. This is going to be out of S3V steel, so this is going to be very, very high impact resistant. And you see that it's going to extend out past the handle part here. Again, micarta, rough ground, so it's going to be very tacky, a big finger choil, and a place for your thumb. And then also you can see it's going to be a pry bar end on this knife. I'm going to have this flat ground here for maximum cutting ability, but the front, hollow ground here on this part. The front is going to be flat ground, and this is going to be a chisel ground knife, so that it can be used to pry in, break off a door jamb. It can be used to break off paneling within a vehicle for extrication. And again, it's going to be S3V steel, so it's going to be very, very high impact resistant. This thing is going to be made to be abused. And I myself am going to carry it. I don't have the measurements on here as far as the overall length. I'll have to add that in. But I also had in mind being able to put this in the pocket of your turnout gear. You don't want a whole lot of stuff hanging off your side as a firefighter, so this is something that you can put in your turnout gear. It's going to have a leather sheath on it, so that it's not going to. I'm not going to put Kydex or anything like that that's going to melt. This is going to have a leather sheath, and I have a couple of ideas about that as well that I'll share with you in an upcoming video. But anyways, again, this is how the knife starts. It starts in my head and ends up here on a piece of paper. The next step is I'm going to take some scissors, I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to lay it on a piece of bar stock, and I'm basically going to outline it on the bar stock, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, rough cut, and then I'll go back with my grinder and I will profile it. So I'm not really going to film that step. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I will go ahead and show you what the blade looks like profiled, and how I lay it out for grinding and all that. So anyways, this is the Rescue Knife 1.0, I guess. Stay tuned for some more videos showing how this is developed. So I hope you find this interesting, and please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.